And we're live.
We're live.
Take it away.
All right.
However you want to. We don't even have an established intro yet, so we're
No.
just gonna wing it.
So, welcome everybody to the first podcast of Host Advantage. It'll be hosted by myself, Chris, and my good buddy John.
What's up?
We're here to just discuss anything gaming, media, things that we like, don't like. It's just going to be two bros shooting the shit, talking about whatever they like. So today, for our first episode, we're going to discuss the Game Awards. And we're going to discuss how we felt about some of the nominees, the votes, the outcomes, along with what is to come for gaming and what we're excited for. So I feel like it's a good place to start with the pre-show.
Yeah.
It was 30 minutes before the actual Game Awards start.
Mm-hmm.
We started off with the best score and soundtrack, which the winner was for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I voted for, and I was very happy that they got it because they totally deserve it. It taps into the nostalgia of the game that I played growing up, and they put so much effort into it. I couldn't have been more excited for that.
I never got into the Final Fantasy franchise. Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah, it is. It's
That's
Square
probably
Enix.
why.
Yeah, it's Sony. I can't even say I'm a big Final Fantasy 7 or excuse me, a Final Fantasy fan either. I've just played 7, 9, 15, and even then I didn't like 15 very much. I couldn't get through
a few
like
numbers.
Yeah, so just a few numbers, but 7 was the OG for me and the one that I have like most nostalgia for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but the Devolver Digital showcase.
So when I tuned in, it was not to sound weird, but it was like this Asian band that was just fucking rocking out with this female singer, and it was just awesome. That's when I first tuned in. I kind of showed up a little bit late, but I mean, it seems like you got the previous stuff covered.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that was for the Persona Strikers performance, just promotion for it, which is awesome. That Persona, I've never played it, but it has a banging soundtrack and it's so stylish. Also PlayStation exclusive. But they had a Devolver Digital nomination for Game of the Year for 2021. And they had all these games that are expected to come out next year. And then the winner was a game called Loop Hero that has not even been announced until that moment. So keeping in Devolver fashion with hilarious and just chaotic hosting.
I love Devolver. They're so fucking funny.
They have a great sense of humor when it comes to going against gaming norms and presentations and we need to be well-cut suits and postured, and it's like, no, they just say, let's get this fork and show on the road. About ready to explode.
I remember they tweeted like a few days prior, they were like, so how's everyone's Sunday going? Just kidding, we don't care, we're a corporation. Here's a link to our merch store. I love it.
That's fantastic. I love that too. We have Best Action Adventure nominee as well, which Last of Us Part 2 won, which, fine. That's all I really have to say on that matter.
Yeah, what I didn't get is that some games or some awards were announced before the show and then during the show, but there was voting going on online. And so were some awards not players like voting, or was it like it's behind the scene, the Academy voting for like I didn't know what the structure was behind the voting.
Yeah, so they had it on. They had the Game Awards website where you could vote, but then as they were leading up to the award show, they just threw in some extra categories on Twitter so that you could vote that way. And so they just kind of threw that in as well to just, I think, encourage more participation. And also they were like, what nominees or nomination awards did you want in the game? And I think they kind of built on that.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have Best Family Game, Animal Crossing. I totally agree. I know you haven't played Animal Crossing too much to know, but it's just a happy world builder.
I think Fall Guys was in that category. I think that's who I voted for.
Yeah.
Just because I love a good small studio.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. And they also got right afterwards, they kind of did a rapid fire thing. They won Best Community Support for Fall Guys.
Oh, yeah.
So good for them.
Which is actually pretty surprising because I think they were up against like big, like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and what are the other ones? Like Apex. I think Fortnite was in there, and like they do like substantial big updates, and Fall Guys, like they do, typical bug smashing and whatnot, but like they haven't had any major tweaks or changes or updates since their seasons. And so like I don't know, I kind of, for me personally, it felt like when like Fall Guys came out and they had their, I think, a few weeks, maybe a month or two of glory, and then Among Us really blew up and kind of dethroned them, because I remember once Among Us got popular, I didn't play Fall Guys for a few months, and so
yeah, it really took the spotlight.
I heard they added like the big Chungus or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but like it doesn't really win me coming back. I mean, it's funny and all, but it's not enough to bring me back. So.
And then we also had a best debut game, which was Phasmophobia.
I really want to play it. I still haven't, but
it looks great. I'm eating up all of the YouTube content creators playing it.
I've been watching Markiplier play it. It looks like so much fun. I heard that it was initially made for VR, hence why some of the animations are pretty like stick figure-y. But damn, I really want to play it, but nobody has a PC that can handle it besides Grant. And like, I'm never gonna play with Grant. Sorry, Grant, but I'm never gonna play it with him. Just the two of us, because it's like it's a 4-player game, and just seeing what they can do with like proximity chat is just so funny. When the power levels, the paranormal activity like spikes, then everything is cut off, and then you're like, oh my god, Bob's dead. Come back to the band.
Everybody's quiet in a corner, just waiting. And it's like, okay, it's gone. We're good. Jeff? Oh, God, Jeff!
Can we take out insurance? I really want to play. One day.
I mean, it's still in alpha, isn't it?
I thought it was released. I don't know. I actually don't know.
It's pretty early on in development, as the kind of awkwardness of them shuffling. I don't think that it's version 1.0 or anything, but. It's doing really well, and I think that was also another small studio that did that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, did you know anything about the debut band? Or, like, it was a debut band, but there was a performance that played Follow, Unfollow, and they had, like, this really,
wasn't it, like, OKC or OKQ or something?
OFK was the song, yeah, and it had, like, this really sweet animation to it. And
I saw that. I thought
it was pretty rad.
I thought it, like, the music was, pretty good, and it looked great, but I was like, why is a band debuting at Video Game Awards? Does somebody know that Jeff Keighley? Like, hey, man, can you promote my band?
I think they were just trying to get more performance screening, and just... with all the restrictions that they were implementing with COVID, I think they just kind of wanted to fill in some of the gaps. And I'm not sure exactly what the link is for Follow, Unfollow and gaming and what it was supposed to promote necessarily. But it had a cool art style to it that I really dug.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay. So that pretty much concludes everything I really wanted to talk about the pre-show. There was some other stuff.
Now we get into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so that was just kind of your intro. Yeah. But now, okay, it's 5 p.m. where we're at Game Awards start. And we start out hot out of the gate with the new Smash Bros. Character announcement.
Yep. And it's funny because I was watching it and I was like, I have no fucking clue who any of these people are, but I bet Chris is losing his shit because he does know. Because I remember when the trailer came out and it was like, we'll have to at least get 10 each. I was like, that was like, holy shit. And then it was almost like they were back at that situation. And then, it cut through the thing and it was Angel Boy or who, I don't know who the fuck it was. But I was like, I bet Chris knows who this is.
Yeah, you're referring to the intro to World of Light, which is the story mode in Smash Ultimate. And so this is like, I don't know if you want to call it like an altered timeline or what.
Oh, God.
But you just see Gleam, which is like one of the antagonists, just get sliced in half. And everybody's in awe. All the characters are going nuts. The moment the orchestra played, this was my hypest moment of the Game Awards, which is kind of unfortunate. It was the intro to the Game Awards, but it's also my hypest. Like I was literally hands on top of my head, going, "Oh my god, that's so cool! Oh my god, that's so cool! That's so cool!" That's all I could say
Oh my god.
when Sephiroth was announced, who is the antagonist for Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay.
So
that I didn't
this is where you kind of get the clash between Cloud and him
Gotcha.
for most of the cinematic, which I just get so horny for those scenes. They're so good. I'm such a sucker for those two clashing with Cloud and his huge Buster Sword that's like obnoxiously big, and Sephiroth's long katana that is.
Yeah, I was like, that thing should snap because that's a pretty fat sword.
Yeah, it's
when I first saw him, I was like, okay, cool, another typical anime guy. And then my second thought was, oh, another swordsman. God.
That's okay. Amidst my hype, I also thought this is another sword character, which kind of sucks. But also, I'm really biased. So I'm like, who the fuck cares? This is awesome.
This is an exception.
I couldn't, yeah, it was a great exception. I couldn't believe it because Square is like really stingy with what they gave like Smash Bros. Most of the games that come out, or excuse me, most of the characters that come out always have a stage and a set of music on top of like all the alternate costumes that they come with. When it came to getting Cloud in Smash Bros. In Ultimate, it was a big copyright thing. Like they had to get the rights to him again to bring him back for a new game, even though he was in the Wii U and 3DS port. So Cloud only got 2 songs, which is nothing compared to others. Like Terry Bogard, who's in not Final Fight. Oh, we're gonna have to cut this. We're gonna have to cut this portion because I can't remember exactly. But when you have a character like Banjo-Kazooie who has like 30 songs, all from like the OG N64, and then they do remixes of them to like modernize them and keep them fresh. Cloud only gets 2 songs. So to have another Square representative in this game is nuts because at least we know we will get at least one more song from them. Hopefully more. But yeah, having a sword character that's Sephiroth is totally cool with me. His range is gonna suck. Oh god,
ass sword.
Yeah, he's gonna be so broken in like the most awesome way. But we'll see. Because Cloud in Super Smash Bros. 4 was broken because he was DLC for that game, and all the DLC was like overpowered as shit. So Sephiroth is probably gonna be in the same boat. And I loved everyone. I watched it like 5 times. And I watched people react to it and having them pop off, and I was like, "This is awesome! This is what I wanted."
That's what I wanted so badly because it was just me and Day in the living room. But I wanted it like if there was a crowd with me, I'd be screaming, but like I couldn't because I don't feel that that like mutual electricity in the air. So I'm just like I don't know. My excitement kind of gets dumbed down a little bit.
Yeah, and I can totally understand that, especially if you have no idea who this person is. And...
Yeah, because I remember. When the Splatoon people, what are they called? The characters.
The squid Inklings.
The Inklings, when they were announced, and like you saw the logo in their eye reflection, that was fucking cool. That was really cool. And for this, it's just like, oh shit, it's Smash right off the bat. They're getting something new. Like, cool. But
yeah, that was the reveal of Ultimate too. Like that was the first because everybody thought it was like
Splatoon 2?
Splatoon DLC or Splatoon 3 or something. And I felt that way for the Smash logo and the reflection of the Inkling's eye, but also for the first DLC, well, the first official DLC in the Fighter Pass was Joker from Persona 5. And he had a really rad reveal to where he had like the in-game kind of art style, the animation and everything. He's sliding around. They're talking about making this like the greatest heist ever. And I was like, oh, we were actually invited to this one. And you see the envelope come on screen. He catches it and he flips it to reveal the Smash logo.
Awesome.
Oh, it was so good. Awesome. Hardly anybody saw it coming. And it was so fluid. And just, there were some YouTubers like, oh, fuck.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Yeah, this one, like Minecraft Steve was announced previous to Sephiroth. I'm happy for the people who are excited for Minecraft Steve to be in Smash Bros, which he is currently, but I had no real affection for that reveal whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense. Minecraft's a very popular game. Why not put him in one of the biggest fighting honor of games ever? So it made sense.
Smash is just a huge collaboration at this point.
Yeah, it's a tribute to gaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it. That was amazing. I'm so excited.
I wonder how much they paid to be the first like ad in the Game Awards.
Yeah, and again, that trailer was gorgeous. Like they dumped money into it. That was a proper CG trailer. And to top it off, well, actually no, before we top it off, did you saw the trailer for it, right? I know you didn't know anything really about it, but that moment where Sephiroth impales Mario. Oh my god.
I was like, holy like they can't do that. You can't do that.
The second he lunged for Mario, I was like, oh, Mario's dead. And then it has that side profile of their silhouettes. I'm like, oh my god, Mario's dead.
He's fucking dead.
It was great. And then they topped it off with it releasing this month. They didn't give a date, but like
it was like December 2020. I was like, just say like it's out in 2 weeks. Like, why even say the month and the year if it's gonna be this month? It's gonna be within the next 19 days. Like,
yeah. Usually, whenever a character is announced, Masahiro Sakurai will come after the reveal, and he'll give like a full breakdown of the character, what he can do, his specials, his ultimate, all that stuff, along with like the map and the alternate skins and a complete breakdown of the character. And then usually they'll be like, also, this character will be out today. They'll have like the cheeky, like, oh yeah, you'll play him tomorrow. I'm like, oh my god, reveal. This was this month. So I assume we're going to get a breakdown video soon.
Probably.
In the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll have the official release date probably that day or the following week.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking, this is kind of random. We've been talking about just one part of this entire...
This is really important to me.
This 3-hour-long show, we've already talked for almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, we might as well just like cut all the pre-show out because it was so whatever.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny because this could be like a 4-hour podcast, or it could just be like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, we'll add some stuff in. We'll cut some stuff out if we need to.
Yeah. So what happens next?
Best Performance Award went to Laura Bailey as Abby in The Last of Us Part 2, which I actually voted for. I thought she killed it. All the motion capturing, all the voice acting, everything I thought went together so well. And honestly, I figured that's what the voice actress looked like. I had never seen a picture of her until she accepted the nomination and sort of thanked everybody for the award.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I couldn't even hear it. If you told me this is Abby, I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah, I mean, unless she's jacked as shit, I wouldn't believe you.
In fairness, though, like Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who do Joel and Ellie respectively, don't look anything like their character.
Yeah, true. I thought, because like with mocap, I figured you have to like resemble them a little bit, but like Joel looks like your run-of-the-mill fuckboy. Like, he doesn't look anything like an old wise man who's seen some shit.
Yeah,
he just seems like he's
just a regular guy.
Yeah, just a regular dude. He's got that what's it called? Overcut?
Guitar? Oh, yeah.
That hairstyle. Yeah.
I think the only game that I can think of on the top of my head immediately is Heavy Rain actually did motion capture with the people resembling themselves, except for I think they changed their hair. That was like the only real difference.
The same people did Detroit Become Human, I believe.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Ryan
that was
Deckard was Connor and
Quantum Dreams.
Yes,
I believe.
Quantic Dreams, something like that. There's a Q in there.
Quantic Dreams, yeah.
But I was surprised, and I'm sure, like I've watched the live chat during the show. I'm very surprised, along with everybody else, how many wins The Last of Us got, because they got a lot.
Yeah.
Despite how negatively it was received. I mean, I personally, the game was fine. I wasn't a huge fan of it. The first one's definitely much better in my opinion, but it just didn't stack up. The ending wasn't as satisfying as the first one. It was just kind of like life sucks, and now it sucks more. Live with it.
We don't have to get too into it, but I agree. Like there's a certain point that I can dot where I'm like, this is where it went wrong for me. It was near the end, and that's where I kind of throw my hands up and like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
And since this was a people's vote, the fact that they won so many was just like, I don't want to say rigged, because like I turned on the live chat as soon as, because I didn't want to watch the live chat during the show. I did it right at the end when they announced Game of the Year, and like all the comments were like rigged, Last of Us is rigged. This is bullshit. And then someone was like drinking so many tears right now.
It has its issues. I won't harp on this too much longer, but Last of Us Part 2 definitely has its issues. Yeah. But it's not a bad game. Yeah. In my opinion, it has a lot of quality to it, but there are some glaring faults that I can understand that people don't like about it.
Yeah, I'd love to play it, but, you know, that would cost me $500 to play.
Yeah. Okay. So a few more things happened in the Game Awards. But this is one of the things that I was actually pretty excited for. So we got a premiere trailer from Warner Brothers Games and Turtle Rock Studios for the game Back 4 Blood.
Oh, you skipped one, actually.
Oh, what did you want to talk about?
Perfect Dark.
Oh, okay. So I've never played Perfect Dark, but take it away, my friend.
No, there's not much. I mean, Perfect Dark it's an old game, and they probably haven't. What was the last one? I think Perfect Dark Zero was the last one, and that came out. I think it came out for the 360. Like, that's how old it is, and so that franchise has been kind of sleeping for a bit. And watching the trailer, there was nothing definitive that was just like, oh my god, could this be Perfect Dark? Like, at least for me, because I didn't. The only thing that I remember from Perfect Dark was a laptop gun and the Cyclone. Those guns were cool, and I didn't see either of those in the trailer, and so I was kind of clueless until the person was on the roof and they were like, Agent Dark, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? They're gonna bring back Perfect Dark in 2020 or whatever date it was announced? And that just kind of blindsided me because I was not expecting a Perfect Dark comeback, and so I'm sure a handful of people also lost their shit. But I don't know if it'll have multiplayer. If it'll be single player based. I believe the last ones were single player exclusive. But yeah, I mean, I'll always keep an open mind. I didn't see any gameplay.
Yeah.
As with a lot of these trailers, unfortunately. So I'll have to keep like a reserved mindset.
Judgment.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. Best of luck to them. And yeah.
Yeah. And I think the studio, what was it? The initiatives are going to be having some weight on their shoulders to make this good. Because I don't know anything about Perfect Dark except for what other people have talked about. I remember it being for the 360, Perfect Dark Zero. I heard it wasn't the best. Previous installments had been better. So it has a following that people really like about it, but just the last installment wasn't so hot.
Yeah, it started off as like, you know, futuristic sci-fi shooter, strong female lead, cool guns, cool tech, laptop gun, awesome. And they were just like, oh shit, like maybe we should bring this back. And then they tried, and then nobody liked it that much. And so now they're gonna, I guess, give it another shot. So best of luck to them.
Yeah, I think at this point too, Xbox needs some more originals on their plate, and I think this will be another one.
Yeah, definitely. But anyways, Back 4 Blood.
So
I want to hear your thoughts on that first.
Back 4 Blood, I didn't realize it at the moment. And I was like, Turtle Rock Studios, why does it sound familiar? And then it dawned on me, I was like, oh my god, this is Evolve and Left 4 Dead. Turtle Rock Studios reinvented like the co-op 4-player zombie apocalypse game, and that's exactly what this is. It's so funny. Like it's we just want to make another Left 4 Dead that's a spiritual successor, but we don't have the rights for it, so we're just going to do everything that we can to make it that, down to the point where I laughed when it was actually had the letter 4 in the title.
I thought that was so funny because I was like, this is identical to Left 4 Dead, but it's Back 4 Blood. So like, is that supposed to be like a cheeky backhand slap to the face to Valve? Like,
I mean, Turtle Rock Studios made it, so
Yeah.
I think this is just their spiritual successor without being a part of Valve.
Mhm.
Very much just trying to, like, even the doors to the safe room, like
Yeah.
the whole idea of the safe, it's identical. I'm kind of surprised they can get away with it, but I know it's still their IP.
Yeah.
Still, they went under Valve.
And Day is not a gamer, but she saw those doors and she was like, that looks kind of familiar. Like, I think I've seen that somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks exactly like a successor to Left 4 Dead, and so it looks like Left 4 Dead 2020, basically.
Yeah, which I'm totally down for.
Yeah.
Like, I am definitely gonna keep an eye out for this game whenever it comes out, and I'm definitely interested. It said June 2021, so not terribly far away. They have a closed beta going on soon, but I just like how they're taking what Left 4 Dead, what was so great about it, and just adding more to it. Like, the guns look better, the graphics look better, more special infected, including the ones that are like 20 feet tall.
I like that a lot. That was really cool.
I think those are awesome. I'm really looking forward to this game. I really want this to work, and I would love to tap into like our childhood nostalgia when we all played Left 4 Dead.
Yep.
And hopefully kind of rekindle that.
I remember specifically during watching the gameplay, and this is what my notes are. Gameplay, all right. Dialogue is dumb. So dumb. Because I hate the cheeky, like, oh, you want some more? Come get it. Like, it's so dumb to me. But
it's just filler. It is nonsense garbage. You're totally right.
If it's just quiet, then there's not much to say, and what else are you gonna say besides some dark humor? You know,
it's just like screaming when you're shooting at like a machine gun. Like, why are you screaming?
This is necessary.
Yeah,
just wasting your breath.
Yeah, it's badass, but like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, as it stands right now, I don't think I would get it at launch unless the beta. Like, I might play the beta. I don't know if hopefully it'll be free, I would assume. I'll play the beta and make a decision off of that. But from watching the gameplay, it seems, and I know this is how Left 4 Dead is, it's just very just shoot, reload, blood everywhere. You get an occasional tank boss guy. Cool. But like, that seems like it was it to me. And so replayability seems just like repetition. And so it'll be fun because it's something new and it's something that we want. But then once that settles in, you'll just be like, this is like Left 4 Dead. But like, hey, some people play Left 4 Dead daily. I play Left 4 Dead 10 minutes a year, and those are great 10 minutes. And then after that, I don't pick it up again. But if co-op is solid and gameplay is solid, then maybe I'll stick around.
Yeah, they're going to try and enhance a little bit more, like the story, try and develop the characters more. They're just trying to make a better Left 4 Dead, essentially, is the goal. And I played a lot of the first Left 4 Dead. I didn't play as much of the second. I know we played like the beta for it, or the demo when it came out years ago. I think I even got it, but we just didn't really touch it too much, even though it was better. It had more melee weapons, improved graphics. The blood splatter were awesome, because I remember very vividly chopping a zombie's arm off and just seeing the two veins like kind of like sprinklers out of the arm. And it's like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And going back to the original Left 4 Dead, it looks jank. It looks really bad graphically.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of hope for this one. I really, really hope they pull it off.
Yeah. Me too. I always root for a game trying to make a comeback. Because I don't think there's a lot of co-op zombie shooters out there.
I mean, the zombie genre is pretty bloated right now, but having a 4-player zombie co-op, I think, is always fun.
Definitely. And then, I don't know if I skipped a round, but the next thing I had written down is Scavengers.
Yeah, that's also what I had. They did a closed beta thing for it.
The only note that I took from Scavengers was that the announcer sounds like the girl from Team Fortress. The announcer, like,
oh my god, you failed.
The game will start in 30 seconds. That's the only notes I took, unfortunately. I didn't, for the games that I wasn't very interested in, I just put like 2 words like, looks alright, meh.
Yeah.
But then the ones that I'm just like, holy shit, I lose my mind, it's all caps and lots of exclamation points.
Yeah. Hood Outlaws and Legends, I don't really have much to say on that.
Co-op, medieval co-op heist. Cool, I guess. I mean,
I can definitely see the appeal for it, but it's
Yeah.
not for me.
It seems like a very niche sort of attack, defend, break into here, steal this, come out, without an alarm. Yeah, that's I don't know how is there going to be like a versus mode where some people like defend the castle, or I don't know. I don't think they announced anything, so
No,
it's very
it's
just
pretty limited information right now,
yeah,
so more to come.
yeah. Hood, interesting.
Yeah, Forza Cross Cyberpunk was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think that's low hanging fruit. Is definitely a good choice, and of course, like that's great. I'm not a big racer, but I thought that was a smart idea. Cross promote.
Mm-hmm.
Best ongoing game went to No Man's Sky.
Ever since I saw that video from Internet Historian talking about No Man's Sky and how like the rough times they went through with Sean Murray and how it was released and it was awful, and then they went dark for a few months, and they came back with updates and updates and updates, and then it just sort of rebuilt itself, and then it got like these new awards, and now it got best ongoing support. When I saw Sean Murray like in his little apartment office, whatever, I was like, oh my boy, I'm so proud of you. Like you raised this back from the ashes, and I'm so glad it's doing so well, because he seems like such a good guy, and he's not like, and it was highlighted in the Internet Historian video where he's not like a public speaker. He's a programmer. He's a coder. He makes video games. He's not like a community manager, And so I'm so proud of my boy.
Mm-hmm. I remember during the low point of the Fallout 76. Was it Fallout 76 or what was the latest Fallout game that was online only?
76.
Yeah. So during the low point of Fallout 76, where it had all the bugs and it was a nightmare launch. Yeah, it was barely. It shouldn't even be called released at that point.
Yeah.
Bethesda was like, we will fix it. We're in the works. And they were like, talk. They did some stuff. But Sean Murray kind of capitalized on that by kind of dogging on them, because he obviously went through a very similar launch.
Mm-hmm.
And you had mentioned to yourself that they went dark for a while. They were using that time to fix, to add, to rebuild, to make the game better. And they didn't advertise it. Sean Murray is like, we knew we had to do, and we were getting it done. We didn't need to really apologize, or like, no words necessary. Actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he was talking about that specifically. It's like, Bethesda, we sympathize, but do it like we did. We just did it.
Man the fuck up, Bethesda.
Yeah. So I appreciate him a little bit for that, where he's like, oh yeah, it is true. Like, very similar launches, and one definitely shined despite all like the PR and needing to kind of soothe the critics and the gamers and all that.
Mm-hmm. And then they were like, oh, we should make a subscription for Fallout. I'm sure they were really hard at work coming up with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
So I think you want to take this next one away.
Okay, so the next part was it was for Callisto Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, so at first, I knew that Glenn Schofield, who was the executive producer and creator of Dead Space, my like top 5 most favorite games of all time. Maybe not favorite games, but maybe favorite single player sci-fi horror.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the genre. I forgot at that time. I forgot what company he started, because I knew he left Visceral closed down, and then he made his own company. Striking Distance Studio, awesome name by the way.
Yeah,
and so
great logo.
Yeah, and so they showed that logo in the beginning, and I didn't really think anything of it, but they showed the trailer, and I saw what looked like a health indicator on the back of a dude's neck, and
yep.
And I mean, I sometimes hate trailers because it's pre-rendered, none of its gameplay. You can make any, like Dead Island. Clear example.
Fantastic example, actually.
Perfect example. And so, and the trailer looked fucking awesome. Like the detail was perfect, and the lighting, the darkness, the suspense, the technology, everything was just so dark. And like you see this monster coming up from behind the guy, and it's just so gross and nasty, and there's teeth and dribbling slime and spit, and then it kills him, but we don't know much else from that. And then it says, you know, Callisto Protocol, and so I'm like, sweet, this looks great. And then I see Glenn Schofield pop up. I'm like, no shit, this is the project he's been working on for us. Oh, I'm so happy, my boy Glenn. I was so happy. My comments what I put in my notes was yes, my boy, because I was just so excited, because I feel like this is going to be like his sort of spiritual successor to Dead Space. And what I'm hoping is that it's like, I don't know what involvement he had in Dead Space 3. We can just kind of throw that out the window right now, but hopefully with his direction and his creativity, he can make this game just chef's kiss, because it's there's no I don't think EA is going to be involved in it.
Nope.
And it's going to be strictly single player. Looks like there's no co-op, no multiplayer, no nothing, which I'm totally fine with. And I just love that, again, that future sci-fi horror elements, and he it's funny because he made the comments for Dead Space. He said, I want to make the scariest game of all time. And then for this game, he's like, I want to make the scariest game of all time. So it's like he's trying to top himself with his newest creation. And I'm so excited. I think it's for 2022. It's a long fucking time away. I really want to play it, but I'm sure I trust him. He delivered on the original Dead Space franchise, and I'm sure, I hope, he can deliver on Callisto Protocol, which is a fucking cool name, by the way.
Yeah, I am really excited for this game for that reason. Everything that was stated in regards to Dead Space. My understanding is that EA had their hands on Dead Space 3, and it kind of swerved into a direction that they didn't originally want to take. They really wanted to emphasize more like the psychological aspect, and they kind of did in the game, but it wasn't as immersive or in the right direction that they wanted to take, because EA is all about the action and needs the sales, and it didn't have the
triangles.
Sales.
Love triangles, really, in a fucking Dead Space game? Ugh, so dumb. Yeah. Whatever. But
I'm on the Callisto Protocol website right now, and it says set on Jupiter's moon Callisto in the year 2320. Callisto Protocol is a next-gen take on survival horror. The game challenges players to escape the maximum security Black Iron prison and uncover its terrifying secrets.
Fuck yeah.
So immersive storytelling, horror and action, and it's going to set a new bar for horror, apparently. And I really have no doubt in this, honestly.
Yeah, because, I mean, I can't think of any, like, modern horror single-player games besides Soma, maybe? But that's hardly recent too. When did Soma come out? It was a while ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I guess I shouldn't exclude the Resident Evil franchise, because I've been playing Resident Evil 2, the remake, and it's fantastic. It's hard, but it's still fantastic, and at least by Capcom standards, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, the remakes have been getting pretty positive reviews, and the only other thing I can think of before Soma was Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So good.
So looking forward to that for sure.
Absolutely.
2022, though, it's so far.
It's so long. A part of me says it's okay that it's that long, because it's that much more time to make the game perfect. But, man, there's just been something about releases that like, you know, delays, and then it still sucks. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why Crackdown 3 came to mind at first.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty random. That's I don't know why that was, probably because it had the most delays, and then once it was released, I don't know.
I mean, Cyberpunk is a great example also of, I think it had like 4 delays before it came out.
Yeah, but I've still heard some, like, it's very buggy. It's graphically not.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
In its own portion.
Yeah, that'll be episode 2 or whatever.
But last thing I want to note is I've said it in the past with you that I would love for a next gen Dead Space game. And I
Oh,
know
yeah.
we're not going to have that. I'm very well aware of that. But it's something that I've always wanted, just to see the necromorphs just gross and
Ugh.
terrifying. And this is that. Like,
Yeah.
2022 is going to be pure next gen. Like,
Yeah.
at that point,
Wish
it's
granted.
yeah. So I'm particularly excited for it, and I'm really excited to see some gameplay whenever that comes out.
Oh yeah. I hopped on the Discord just because I want to get like I follow them on Twitter, Instagram. Like if they announce something, I'll know and I'll let you know.
Heck yeah.
But I'm just super excited. I follow Glenn on Twitter, and he's just like, thanks so much, guys, for the support, and I'm just super happy for him. I'm so glad he's back in the spotlight, because Dead Space was just so fucking good, and I just want him to get all the recognition he can. And now that he's back, I'm just so happy.
He was teasing this game for a while, wasn't he? Wasn't this supposed to be at like E3 or something?
I have no clue.
I felt like he was talking about like, yeah, we're gonna see my next game, or we're gonna tease something soon, and it didn't happen until Game Awards. Probably just last minute polish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking just randomly that if we saw something from, oh my god, who is it? The guy who's making The Last Night.
Tim
Tim Soray, but like, what's his company? Oh my god, I'm so
Fury Games.
Shit. Sorry, I gotta look this up because it's gonna drive me crazy.
Give me a second.
I think it's Raw Fury.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Fury Games. Yeah, I can't remember.
Odd Tales.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any expectations just because he likes to be very, very quiet about things. But if I did see something from the Odd Tales, I would have screamed because I've been waiting so patiently, and I want so much for this game.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up because there's a portion of my notes here after the Game Awards that were like things I wish they showed.
Yeah.
And to jump ahead a little bit, that was one of the games that I wish they'd showed because the last time we saw that was in 2017 at E3.
No, he's so patient because he gets people tweet at him all the time like, is this game still being made? Or I can't believe the game was canceled. And he has to jump and be like, okay, the game wasn't canceled. Chill the fuck out. We're still working on it. Just
give us time.
Hold on, yeah. But he's just he doesn't do screenshots. He doesn't do teasers. Nothing. We just know it's still in development.
That one trailer.
The last thing he did was a year ago. It was December of last year where he animated like some drones flying around at a Christmas tree with some Lauren playing in the background.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing that. It was really cool, nothing, but
it told us nothing. It just showed that he's working. That's all it did.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely an indie game that I'm looking forward to, and as are you.
Yeah, very much. The next two games that I wrote down, I had zero interest in. The first one was Open Roads. Was that the next one?
It was Warhammer Dark Tide. It's a 4-player co-op game. I'm not a big Warhammer fan, so it didn't affect me. And then Open Roads was announced as well. Yeah. I
just put meh.
Yeah.
And then Disco Elysium.
Yeah, so this game was really popular when it came out. Won a lot of awards last year, actually. And they're doing a final cut, which adds a lot more into the game, like full voice audio, because the game was a lot of text. There was a lot of reading. So I don't know if this is like 100% of the game is being recorded or if it's just main points, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, does that just mean no NPCs? Like, everyone's like just got that level of dedication and writing per character. Like, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a lot of characters to memorize if there's no NPCs.
Yeah, and I can see why it took him so long to do it, because there's so much of it, and it's also a free update if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome for people who played this game.
Interesting.
Really quick, I just want to give a shout out to Best Action Game Award to Hades. Totally deserves it. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't Doom. I've not played Doom, but I kind of figured that was going to kind of take the cake.
It's funny because they're two completely different games, but they're still so similar because you have to dodge a shit ton and like land your hits and get criticals and make sure you know how bosses work and exploit their disadvantages to your advantage. And so they're very similar in that note, but Hades is just it's so good. I know that could be a completely different podcast, but I've been loving Hades so much, and like I haven't touched Doom in a very long time, if that says anything.
I downloaded it on Game Pass and I haven't touched it yet. Meanwhile, I've been still playing Hades today. Yeah, I have over 100 hours on my Switch.
I want to play it so badly, but I just don't have enough time sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. What was the next thing for you? Because I know you were more diligent.
Yeah, so we just had a few more announcements. Dragon Age, I'm pretty sure people are hyped for that. I have not played it. It was a pass for me. Endless Dungeons, which is like a tactical roguelike shooter by Sega.
Okay, I'm jumping in.
Go for it.
Amplitude Studios. I fucking love Amplitude Studios.
Yeah?
So they made a game called Dungeon of the Endless for Steam. I think it's on Switch, perhaps, but I have, I think, 125 hours in that game.
Snap.
Fucking love Dungeon of the Endless. That's one. So when you introduced Hades to me and you're like, it's a roguelike, I'm like, I wonder if you'd like a roguelike that I like. And so Dungeon of the Endless is a roguelike game, but it's got elements of like tower defense too, which I think is fucking cool because like you have a crystal. I'll try and make this in a nutshell as best I can. You have like a crystal in the middle of the map, and there's 4 doors you can pick. And let's say you go right, and there's monsters in there. You kill them, great. You open the next door, and there's more monsters. Whatever, you kill them. Now you have 2 rooms between the crystal and where you are right now. You have to find the escape, and so you have to explore all these rooms. But each time you open a door, it counts as a turn. And so if there are rooms that don't have power in them, and you open a door, initiating a turn, monsters will spawn in that room and go to attack your crystal. So you'll set up like little turrets and shit. It's all 8-bit. It's so, I don't know what, I think it's just the roguelike replayability of it. It is so much fun. And I've put so many hours into it. I've gotten like 98% of the achievements because some of them are just impossible to get. Like I'm just not even gonna fucking bother.
Yeah.
But it's just so much fun. It's so simple. And seeing Amplitude Studios pop up, I was like, holy shit, like this tiny little studio is at the Game Awards that I like. Seeing someone so small in such a big spotlight warms my heart so much because it's like, I know, it's almost like I know them personally, you know? It's like when you tweet, like, at least for me, when I tweet like, an artist that I like who has like 70 followers and I just love his music and I just like, hey, I hope you're having a great day today. And he's like, hey, thanks, you too, bro. I'm just like, that's so great.
A little charming interaction.
But I digress.
Endless Dungeons.
Endless Dungeons. So it looks like a revamped co-op version of it, which I am 100% for. I would love to play this game with you because I know you like a good roguelike. And so having a shooter mixed with a tower defense, and this looked like, I don't know what 3D, I guess, but the previous Dungeon of the Endless was it's all 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever. I don't know what the number is. And so the game it looks so much fun. When I see it, I think about the excitement I have with Dungeon of the Endless, and I think about that in an updated form because it's a fairly old game, and playing it with somebody like you, because it was coming to console too, and I was like, that's fucking great, like we can play it together. And so I'm so excited. I think I'd say this is probably what I was most excited for at the Game Awards.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I'd say probably this, and then
Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol, yeah, and then the third one we'll talk about later. But
yeah,
I'm sure you know it anyways. But
yeah, I got an idea.
That's my 2 cents. I'm super excited because when I was putting notes down and I saw Amplitude Studios and I was like, Dungeon of the Endless 2? But I guess they're just calling it Endless Dungeon, which is like almost the same title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super fucking excited.
Well, now I'm excited for it, especially if you're into it. I want to get into it.
I think you're gonna really, really love it. I hope you do. Like I know I can suck a game's dick so much because I remember Viking. That's all.
Oh yeah. That's a different podcast.
That's not even worth an episode.
Oh, sorry to all you Viking fans out there. I'm sure there's a lot of you.
Oh boy.
Crimson Desert was the next reveal.
I didn't care at all.
Skip. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, is the audio broken? Because like it was
Yeah.
just like it didn't seem.
They had all the gameplay, but no.
Yeah, and it was
voice
long.
acting.
It was like 4 or 5 minutes of just hacking and slashing
pretty
with
chunky.
like yeah, and it was pretty not good. Yeah, and the video quality. I don't know if like the tech leads at the Game Awards were fucking up, but it was very choppy, and it did not look very good.
I think that was just the game, honestly, but it's probably still really rough around the edges.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd like, I don't know, pre-render a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you know.
the other comment that I made was that I put, lol, is this Mortal Kombat? What the fuck? Because like they do that thing where like someone gets hit and they like, you know, get knocked back and they're like going up in the air, and on their way back down they get hit again. They like kind of bounce in midair, like you can chain combos and shit.
Yeah.
Like, is this Mortal Kombat? And you know, when you hit them, they kind of like freeze to like accentuate the you know, the force that was used to hit them. But that on top of how choppy it was, it just seemed like a broken mess. And I was just very like, I don't care about this whatsoever.
Yeah, even I was nitpicking it a little bit because every time there was like a thrust of a sword and it like made contact, like there was crazy like motion blur or something.
Yeah,
it didn't look
didn't
very
look good.
crisp. Maybe that's what they're going for, but we'll see. It's all to be determined at this point.
Yeah.
So we had an award that
Best narrative.
Yeah, that I would have contested because Last of Us Part 2 got it.
Yeah, they got everything.
They
But who else?
swept
Do you
every
know-
category
Do
they
you know
got.
who what the other contestants were, or the nominees?
I know Hades was on there.
Oh, better.
Um,
Just better.
yeah.
I love like the thing, and I don't want to get into Hades too much because it's just so much. I'm not one for like the stories where, you know, you talk to a lot of people and there's a lot of dialogue, but I think Hades does that so well because they keep it to like 2 or 4 like lines per person, and it's like I can keep up with everything, and it's to the point. It's short and sweet. It's perfect. I don't forget anything. I know exactly who Nyx is and Cerberus and Dionysus. It's awesome. I love it. But yeah, that's just quick.
Yeah. I just feel like the narrative was actually one of arguably its biggest fault for
Yeah,
me.
I agree.
So to see that it got that, it kind of made me like turn my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey.
That's just, I can't believe it won.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
expect
so
it either.
weird.
Skipping
Next on
ahead,
the agenda.
skipping ahead a little bit because we had like Swedish Chef made an appearance.
Yeah, I was like,
which was
cool.
cute. Yeah, everybody loves Muppets. Cold War Season 1 update. Cool.
Oh, you skipped ahead a few.
Oh, did I? What was next?
Yeah, Bowser Fury. I think it was Mario's 35th anniversary or something.
Yeah, that was during like one of the commercials
Oh, okay.
because that was announced a while ago. Yeah,
I didn't know that. My bad.
No, it's good. It's good. I really like that Wii U game because we played it when we were living
it was
together.
Fun. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're bringing it to the Switch, and I'm actually
Great.
really excited for that because I would love to get that. And
I'd love to play it.
I'm not one to like rebuy games that I've played, but that's one of my favorite Mario games, like right next to Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Like
Yeah.
it's very quaint, it's fun, it's polished.
It's like a perfect couch co-op game, I'd argue.
Yeah, and so with the Switch port, they're also adding that expansion to it, which they've been very quiet about. They haven't really showed too much about it, so I'm excited to see what they've added.
And so I had one more thing, but it's now that you mentioned the commercial thing, this was probably just in the commercials, but Unreal Tournament and Warframe collabing. Cool,
Yes.
I guess. That's pretty much it. I don't play Warframe. I know it's free to play, which is great. I always love a good free to play. At least I really respect a company that can make a game free and then just use microtransactions for, you know, keeping up the revenue. Unreal Tournament, I honestly don't know the last time an Unreal Tournament game came out. I know it's been a while. But yeah, I mean, good for them. Apparently it's the season of mixing skins in other games.
Yeah.
But we'll touch on that later when that pops up. But like you said, COD Season 1, whatever.
Yeah, I was
COD's
not.
gonna COD.
Yeah. And then we had a quaint little 35th anniversary performance of the Mario franchise as a whole.
I loved it.
It was great.
I just put, this is lovely.
Yeah,
it was very nice.
I think that's where the Game Awards really shine, is with their musical performances and just all around just uplifting music. And I thought for the 35th anniversary, this was really sweet, and it was wonderful.
Who can hate this? Like it's perfect. It's Mario. Yeah. He's the OG. You can't be mad at Mario.
Unless you're Sephiroth and you want to impale him with your sword.
But you just got his little.
Just missed it.
Just missed it. And then I think Season was next.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I love the animation and art style.
Yeah.
Very peaceful.
It reminds me of Firewatch.
Yeah, a little bit.
With the cel-shaded style.
Yeah,
I feel like this might be like a one-up on its animation. There was one moment in particular that I was like, oh my god, it looks so good. For whatever reason, it was when the girl was putting on her backpack strap, and you can just see her sweater behind her just kind of like moving with the strap and then relaxing back on her back. And I was like, oh, that looks so nice. And then you just see all the serene bicycling down the road with the forest, and then there's the sunset, and it looks really nice. And I definitely have my eye on that one, even though it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yeah, that had me sad. The idea of exploring and recording disappearing cultures, I think, was really interesting. Like,
it's very unique.
I like a fresh idea, but because it's a PS5 exclusive, I'll probably just watch Markiplier play it or something.
Yeah.
So, man, this next one threw me for a fucking.
So, do you have a lot to say on this one?
So, I mean, we're both talking about Arc 2, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my first impression, which I'm sure was everyone's, was, is that Vin Diesel? Okay, it's Vin Diesel. And then I was like, is there going to be any dialogue, or is this caveman, like, kind of era where they just grunt and moan at each other? But as soon as I saw the T-Rex, I was like, oh shit, the only game I know that has a T-Rex is Ark. And I don't know shit about Ark. I just know there's dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind for T-Rex is Turok, and I've never even played Turok.
Turok, yeah.
But I didn't think that this was a Turok game at
all. The notes that I put was the blood looks awful. I remember there was a couple of shots where someone gets like bitten, and like the blood is just way overbearing. Like it just blows up, and it's
it's a puff cloud.
And then I mean, I don't know anything about the Ark series. I feel like I say that a lot. Like, all my credibility goes out a window when I'm judging a game because I know nothing about it.
Are you even a gamer?
I'm not even a true gamer. Name all the games. But yeah, Arc 2 was my hunch. I didn't know it had a huge following. I knew it. Last I saw, its reviews on Steam were mixed, which is very, a lot of reviews on both ends. So I didn't think there was a huge following, but I guess there's enough for a sequel. And also enough for an animated series.
That's right.
Holy shit. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah, 2022.
And I remember this. I was like, okay, animated series, whatever. But then they showed the cast. Holy shit. Gerard Butler, Michelle Yeoh, I don't know who that is, Madeline Madden, Elliot Page.
Yep.
Nice. David Tennant.
Yep,
Bam.
saw that.
Jeffrey Wright, Russell Crowe, and Vin Diesel. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, it's pretty stellar. Actually,
that's a very fat check. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I probably won't watch it, but maybe I will. Who knows? I just put Jesus that lineup.
Yeah,
I just love
star power.
Yeah, David Tennant was just like, whoa, I love David Tennant. I'm sure you do too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Probably. I mean, I don't know much about what your TV preferences are. Yeah.
The last thing I remember David Tennant doing was he was Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales animated series. So he's got a little bit of voice acting under his belt.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Next thing I had written down was Fall Guys.
Yep.
Season 3.
Winter Wonderland update, which I think it was going to come out in like 5 days, and there was no gameplay of it.
I mean, they showed some of the puzzles, but there wasn't like raw footage of it. Like
I was just surprised.
I know you step on a panel and it launches you. That's about it.
Yeah, I was just surprised because like that's kind of the whole thing. Like, oh, the costumes are cute and they're doing wacky things.
Yeah.
I was just kind of surprised with something that was coming out so soon. There was no real like side sweep of the map or just something like kind of really quick to look at instead of bits and pieces of what's expected.
I wonder if trailers that have more of that pre-rendered stuff like bring in more of an audience than, you know, actual gameplay.
Yeah,
because
it's possible.
I think most people at this point will know what the gameplay is. Like they've seen Among Us, they've seen Fall Guys, they've seen, you know, they know what the game's about.
Right.
So just showing them what's coming, I guess, which, you know, the panels and the punching blocks and whatnot. I guess that's all they got to show. That's all they decided to show. So
yeah,
we'll see if their numbers go back up.
Looks cute. It's very colorful. We got some gameplay of Odyssey Elite Dangerous.
I have Elite Dangerous. I don't fucking like that game.
Oh, I didn't.
I tried so hard to play it, but it is just so complicated. I cannot, like, it doesn't hold your hand very well, which with some games I like a little bit of hand holding. Like, I like when people tell me, like, this is how you throttle. This is how you do an aileron roll. But they don't do any of that. And so I'm just sitting orbiting this planet trying to figure out how my fucking cockpit works. And I can't go anywhere. And I tried so hard because I love a good simulator where you can fly through space. I just love space. Space is cool. But I don't know how to control anything. So I just kind of gave up on it. And I tried so hard. I sat there for like an hour trying to figure out all the controls because it's very, I would say realistic, but like there's a lot of things to consider, like, you know, the throttle to half light speed or whatever, and then throttling back and make sure you don't crash into the fucking planet while you're at it. And I never got any of that timing right, and so I just kind of gave up. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's all I had for Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. But we had Best Multiplayer Game, which was given to Among Us.
Yeah, dude, when they were accepting their award, I was so proud of them because it was
so
just
cute.
I was like, oh, look, the entire team behind Among Us, and one of them's on a phone.
Yeah.
And I loved that she was very like emotional about it and very happy, because I wouldn't imagine that they imagined being, you know, the winner of a multiplayer award at the Video Game Awards with, you know, their game. And that's just so, that must have been like jarring for them, and I'm super happy for them. I hope they're millionaires now, because they've gotten so much money off of, you know, people just word of mouth, you know, YouTube videos and live streams for.
Yeah, it's really blown up, especially because the game came out like what, 2 years ago,
and I think it came out in 2017 or 2018. Yeah.
So yeah, about 3 years.
And then it just it
really blew up, and it's going strong. I can't believe it. After 3 years, it's getting awards now.
Yeah, and I just love that it was up against Modern Warfare, I think. Or Call of Duty Warzone, which, like, two completely different games. And I feel like a lot of the votes that were given to Among Us, at least from the fans, were just almost like, I mean, I don't want to sound mean, but like pity votes. Like, this is such a small team, and they made such a unique game with social deception that it's blown up in popularity. And you know what? Call of Duty they have like 27 games. Let's just give Among Us, this 4-person team, this award, and just make like the next decade for them, you know? So I'm glad they got that award, even if it's not like, you know, a fair fight, but I'm still glad
it's all subjective, you know?
Yeah.
But everybody loves a genuine response and a reaction, and they definitely delivered on that. As weird as that is to say, they were just genuinely happy.
Yeah, because if Infinity Ward won, some billionaire CEO would be like, I'm so thankful for the fans and really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah.
And there was some of that.
What was the next thing? Outriders?
I had Evil Dead the game.
Oh, maybe I'm going through the commercials again. I don't know if we want to skip or not, because
if you have something to say about it, then please.
Well, I mean, Outriders, it just looks like the only things I wrote down were it's by People Can Fly, which they worked on Gears and Bulletstorm. And Kill to Heal. It seems like they're trying to take a fresh take on a multiplayer shooter experience, and I'll keep an open mind.
Was that the game where they're just like cover is optional
Oh,
for
yeah,
cowards. Yeah,
Covers
okay.
for cowards. Yeah,
Yeah. I remember that now.
whatever. Good for them.
Yeah.
Hope the best for them. And then Fist was like a side scroller rabbit thing.
It looks nice. I don't know if I'll play it, but it's
It's a PlayStation exclusive as well.
yeah,
So.
it's such a weird name too
Yeah,
for
Fist.
the game.
It's what is this? Oh, it's right here. Forged in Shadow Torch.
Still a weird name.
Yeah. And then Tom Holland came out and talked about the Uncharted movie. I still like, for the longest time, Uncharted was the game that I've always wanted to play on PlayStation. Just because I love a good story-rich game, and I love Tom Holland, as I'm sure a lot of other people do as well.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah. So I hope that's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not like Assassin's Creed.
We don't need to talk about that.
And then best multiplayer was Among Us, Evil Dead. Yeah, the last Evil Dead game that I saw was released in 2005. So this is a 15-year in the making. Maybe not in the making, but like cooldown period. I don't know if there's like a cult following behind Evil Dead.
It had a TV show that was pretty successful. I think it was recently. It ended or was canceled. But it was the model for Ash, I believe his name is. Was the actor who was in the TV show who played him. I don't remember if it was the original. I think they had the Evil Dead TV show, and then they brought it back with the same actor, and he had aged, and he was still awesome, and then they modeled him after the game. But I don't know too much about it. I feel like people who like Evil Dead will definitely like this game. But I always kind of get wary when it's X game title with the subtitle The Game. Is always kind of
like, this is a one and done deal.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a The Game 2.
Spider-Man 3, the movie, The Game. You know.
Do you know anything about ghosts and goblins? Because I fucking
don't. I only really know about it through like Marvel vs. Capcom. Sir Arthur, who is the little guy in the armor. I don't have anything to say about it. I'm happy for people who are looking forward to this. And then they also announced the Capcom Arcade Studio.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
Which looks cool. And it was like for the Switch, and it said it was going to be free to download. And I was really confused by all that because that seems pretty bonkers that they would like, just give that out.
Free with the purchase of what? Like, how is it? How can you make all that free?
Do you need to have an online subscription with Nintendo to get access to this game? I don't know. But
who knows?
Yeah, it seems like it's got a lot of content in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I know nothing about Ghosts and Goblins. And then I believe the next one was Best Independent Game.
Hades.
So proud of them.
Congrats. They definitely deserve that one. 100%.
Yep.
Best audio design. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that a lot of the nominees for a lot of these awards were the same from award to award, like Hades, Last of Us, Doom, and there's probably like two more, but like those three were in so many categories.
Yeah,
together.
Final Fantasy VII Remake and like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep, Ghost of Tsushima. I've heard nothing but great things about that game, and I feel like they were probably robbed. That's just my assumption because I just heard great things.
I've been a huge Sucker Punch fan, which is the studio that made it. Since Sly Cooper for the PlayStation 2. I love Sly Cooper, and to see that they kind of went on to this is like a huge turn because they went from like a cel-shaded raccoon, tortoise, and hippo trio that rob and complete heists to this very realistic samurai Japanese aesthetic game. It's like a complete 180. So I'm glad that they're getting a lot of recognition for this. And I guarantee, because of the success of Ghost of Tsushima, that Assassin's Creed is going to do a Japanese or Chinese themed game.
They're running out of eras.
Yep, they are.
Like, you know how Assassins and Vikings go hand in hand?
Totes.
Me fucking neither. So they're going to go on to like full-on warriors, Spartans, and fucking Navy SEALs at some point.
Nah, they're gonna go back to their roots.
Oh boy. Where's Desmond? I forgot what happened to Desmond, honestly. But I digress.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. Okay, name 2 fighting games.
Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
I honestly couldn't think of any other. Like, I think One Punch Man had their own game that they were nominated for.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think it's just a very popular genre besides Mortal Kombat, just because they're the OG, like 30 fucking years in the making.
Yeah, with fighting games like that, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and things of that genre, they're very difficult to get into because each game has their own respected like mechanic,
Yeah,
and their own techs and their own combos that are very difficult to learn.
mm-hmm.
So you have to put in a lot of effort to get very little out of it in regards to like satisfaction.
Yep.
So it's a tough category. Like Killer Instinct came back for the Xbox One, which was great for a lot of fighter fans like that, but that was kind of the last main one that I can think of that was popular. But even then, I can't think that it's in very high demand.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. They've been around since like the dawn of video games.
I had Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis.
What's his name? Ed Boon, I think, is the head honcho guy. He's been with the team since day one, and I think there's like a couple other people on the team that have been there since day one. And I can't imagine like making games on the Super Nintendo and now making games for next gen, like 60 FPS or like 144 hertz FPS at 4K. Like that's insane to me.
But the game has changed very literally and figuratively.
Yep.
From that point to that point.
Yeah. Flight Sim is coming to Xbox.
Yeah, Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass. Oh man, they're fucking killing it. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about that later because I have a little thing I want to say later. And then I think next was Returnal.
Yeah, this was announced last E3. Or no, not E3. It was for a PlayStation conference event. So we've seen this before, but this one had a little bit more to show gameplay-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny name. Game looks okay.
Developed by Housemarque, third-person shooter, science fiction, psychological horror video game.
Yeah, girl seems to be in a time loop. Every time she dies, comes back to life in one point. Probably trying to unravel a mystery. Yeah. Break the cycle.
Yeah.
That kind of deal.
What was that game that came out? I think it was a Devolver title. Deathloop. That was the first game that I thought of when they showed Returnal.
It was Arcane.
Arcane Studios, yeah.
Yeah, Deathloop. It hasn't come out yet. I think it was delayed actually.
Oh.
But it's going to also be a PlayStation exclusive. Despite Xbox having purchased the studio, they're still respecting the contract to be on PlayStation exclusive.
We'll let you have this one because you're never going to get anything out of this guy ever again, and we're going to put you in the fucking ground.
Yeah. From my understanding, they're still going to be pretty friendly, but they're going to be like, it's going to come on Xbox first. And then we have a game that
This is all you, man.
Yeah, so It Takes Two is a game that's being developed by the creator of A Way Out, which was really good actually, and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was for the 360, I think, and it was also pretty well received. I can't remember the creator's name. Yosef something. He's crazy, man. The dude's wild. He has such a strong personality, but I saw the trailer for this game and I just thought this looks boring and pretty generic at this point. But as the trailer went on, it really grew on me and it became something else to the point where I'm like, I want to get into this game because the whole thing is about a couple that were married, that separated, and have gone on to this supernatural world where they kind of came as like a doll figurine sort of thing, and they have to traverse this world with the goal of them getting back together or at least rekindling an old love. And it seems like it can be really heartwarming, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna keep my eye out on this one. I don't have much else to say regarding the matter, but it took me by surprise as the trailer was going on. It kind of went from this like generic thing to like, oh, this looks really neat. And with the 2-player co-op, that's always fun too, because I think they did this for A Way Out as well.
Mhm.
They're gonna allow a friend pass, which is basically if I buy the game and I want to play with my buddy, say you, I can send you a friend pass so that you can play with me even though you have not
Oh,
purchased the
cool.
game.
It's like a gym membership.
Yeah, exactly right. I can bring a guest.
Yeah.
So they're
That's
going to do
cool.
the same with this, which is really cool, and that's a really fun thing to be able to do in regards to like play with your friends even if they don't have it.
Mhm.
So I'm interested in this one.
So the I think we skipped around a little bit again because I wrote down Super Meat Boy Forever.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that was part of the commercials.
Oh yeah, go for it, dog.
I thought so. I never played the originals, but
Yeah.
okay, then I guess we can just leave it at that then.
Yeah, we'll cut that
out. Yeah. And then I saw a commercial for Road 96, which is the procedural road trip, which I thought looked great. Like when I think procedural, I think like, oh, I could go down this road and die, almost like a roguelike.
Yeah.
You can go down one road and you get one reward, and the other one is imminent death.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. I'll keep an eye on it. And then It Takes Two, yeah. And then Gates of Oblivion. I don't care. Like I never got into Oblivion.
Same.
Skyrim universe just wasn't my cup of tea. And then after that was Destiny 2 again. Not my cup of tea.
Yep.
Didn't care for the game. Didn't care for the first one. Don't care for the second one. Too much grinding. Too many bullet sponges. Gameplay looks fun, but it's just the same thing.
Yep.
You melee, you shoot, you grenade, you special.
Yeah, the super, which is great.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. And then we got a VR game from Star Wars. Or I don't know, who's it from? I know it's a Star Wars game, but I don't know who the publisher or developer was.
I didn't write it down. I don't know.
It looked bad. Like the graphics just looked
like
they weren't polished.
You go from the movies, which have a lot of production value in them.
Yeah.
And then you go to something like VR that's still in its early days graphically.
Yeah. And it's hard to make a VR game look good, I think, because like it's just having like floating hands in front of you just kind of ruins the experience for me immediately, because it's just like, okay, this is someone else's experience and it doesn't feel realistic. And you know, the moving around, it's not like when you look around, like that's not a very cinematic camera take. And so you gotta, the only way to get gameplay is from the perspective of the player, and it's just kind of hard to make gameplay interesting unless, for example, the Alex gameplay, they did that pretty well. But I also think that it was, you know, very heavily rehearsed, and the game looks just in my opinion, looks miles better than this Star Wars VR game.
Oh, it's definitely, Half-Life Alyx is the new bar for VR.
Absolutely. Yeah. Next on the list was Oddworld Soulstorm, I believe.
Yeah, I
played the Oddworld games. I played Abe's Odyssey and Munch's Odyssey, or maybe it was Abe and Munch's Odyssey. I don't know, but that was for the original Xbox. So it's a very old IP, and by very old I mean like 15 years.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting universe. It looks like it's just another platformer. When I saw that, you know, you can have like, I wouldn't say clones, but like people that look just like you following behind you, I just immediately think of Inside and just having those mindless zombies chasing you around.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's even a market for this game, honestly.
Yeah,
like I've never heard of somebody like, have you played Oddworld? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
like I've never heard
it's not up there.
Yeah, it seems like a very unusual pick for a franchise to continue a life of.
But it's also, it looks like it's just a side scroller, so it's probably not as huge of a development.
That's true.
Because the previous games were like third person open world kind of deal. And so maybe this one's just lower budget and they're just rolling with that.
Bank with the nostalgia.
And then best mobile game,
Among Us.
I'm so glad it didn't go to Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Because that has been like every time I go into the Play Store, number one fucking recommendation is Genshin Impact, and it makes me hate it more because I don't. It's not my cup of tea, and I don't want it to be.
Yeah,
But they just, yeah.
I would probably really like that game if I gave it a shot because it's very Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't. I just kind of avoid it. Because I know I'll probably like it, and I don't really need to deal with it. I'd rather play other games than kind of get into a new one,
Yeah.
especially with all these like microtransaction heavy.
Yeah, and especially being on mobile, it's just I'm not a big mobile gamer.
Mhm.
I probably play like the same 3 or 4 games on rotation. Among Us being one of them.
Sure.
And like I'm just so glad for Inner Sloth to get yet another award.
Mhm. They loved it.
I'm just so proud of them. Next was Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is going to be a Switch exclusive, and I think it's actually going to be on PC, actually. Switch and PC. Monster Hunter franchise is really big.
Yeah, apparently.
A lot of people like it.
Yeah, when Day saw it, she was like, ugh. And I was like,
Whoa.
how do you have an opinion on this thing? She was like, my ex played it. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
And so, like, I for a second, I was like, Monster Hunter seems kind of cool. Like, you know, you and your teammates gang up on a monster and, you know, you find its weak points and blah, blah, blah. But it never really hooked me.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn in that game, which has been kind of daunting for me to even get into because there's like a lot of mechanics and hunting and tracking and building your weaponry and your armors, and I definitely see the appeal, but I feel like it's a lot of info dumping to get into at this point to where I don't feel like it's terribly accessible to me.
Yeah, it seems like a big commitment. Like you gotta learn how monsters work and mechanics and gameplay and whatnot. Yeah. Next thing was Evil West.
Yeah, like a Van Helsing sort of vampire slayer.
It's a dark fantasy vampire hunting western thing. And like all trailers look great. 0 gameplay, so it doesn't really tell us much. So
to be determined.
I'm just like, cool. Premise seems pretty cool, but I'm not impressed.
Yeah, it's always a grain of salt when you see something like that, especially now that we've been through the motion before. We were young once. We were fooled by.
We played Dead Island.
We played Dead Island. We've learned our lesson with CG trailers.
Yep.
And you can be excited for something. I remember I was excited for Watch Dogs for that first trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Remember the Far Cry 6 trailer? Looks fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got Giancarlo Esposito.
Yep.
And that's it.
So we had Among Us stage reveal. This is the airship.
Right.
Map.
The next, this is just me going into the commercials, which I'll be very brief on. There's a anime style game called Scarlet Nexus, which I don't really seems like just another slasher anime thing.
It looks good. I have plenty of anime shows under my belt. This one looks really good. I don't know if I'll get into it because I'm not into more anime-esque games, but I feel like this is going to scratch that itch for a lot of people, especially Platinum Games released Astral Chain for Nintendo Switch a while ago, which are the same people that did like Bayonetta, Wonderful 101, a lot of quality action, flashy style, great set piece games, and I feel like if you like Astral Chain, you like this game.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a commercial advertising Omen, but I don't give a shit about Omen. Build my own computer. And then there's a commercial for EA Play, which I thought was what's the point? Because like EA Play comes with Game Pass, but I guess if you don't
have it.
Yeah. Is it on PlayStation? Is there EA Play just for PlayStation?
I'm sure there is, yeah. Because both...
I guess that could be the market that they're going for. Because I mean, you might as well just get Game Pass at this point if you want to get.
EA if you got the option.
Yeah, I'd definitely go for that because Game Pass is killing it. I think
Yeah,
that's one of Xbox's strong suits against PlayStation is their library.
for sure.
Um,
Their backwards compatibility
oh yeah,
aspect of it and all
totally.
that. It's going strong, especially if you have the ultimate version of Game Pass. That's where you get the EA factor.
Yeah. And then next up was Fortnite getting Master fucking Chief.
Yep. I mean, I feel like kudos to Fortnite for being as popular as it is and getting big IPs and
Yeah.
movie industries like Marvel under their belts.
Yep.
I mean, it's cool. We don't like Fortnite, but like it's fun.
Yeah.
It's harmless. It's just pretty bonkers to see someone like Kratos in God of War
Shooting weapons.
I mean, it's just
Swinging axes.
it's just lowered to the point where it's like, oh, you want to see the God of War floss? It just feels a little disjointed, but I mean that's the world it's going to.
Yeah. I loved the red versus blue thing. I was like, holy shit! Like I was never a part of red versus blue, but I immediately knew who those people were when I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit! Like are they? Like I was just washed over with nostalgia. I was like, did they ever like when did they like disband and have it? Did they come back? Like are they coming back? I don't know. What's going on.
They went on for a long time actually.
Yeah.
They have like 20 seasons of Red versus Blue out. Like they kept going with each sequel to Halo.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still going on now, but I liked they even gave a little nod to that for people like us who watched it originally and then kind of dropped off because even they were like, yeah, we're the YouTube channel that you watched 15 years ago. Spot on.
And they sound the same. I love it. I love
yeah,
it so
same
much.
actors.
And then Blood Gulch is coming to Fortnite. Cool.
As a custom thing.
Yeah, the comment I put next to that was who paid who?
I mean, yeah.
Like with those big collaborations, I always wonder like, does Fortnite pay Marvel to get Thanos? Does Marvel pay Fortnite to have Thanos in their game? I don't know. Is it mutual? Who knows? Because it's a lot of advertising.
Oh yeah.
And having The Walking Dead and Kratos and Master Chief and the Avengers in Fortnite is like it's like a skin game now. Just who can we get endorsements from? You know?
Yeah, and I go back to it, this being like this is their Smash Bros.
Yeah,
just trying to get everybody in there.
Yeah.
It's really popular. It's to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if one of the next characters in the fighter pass for Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to be a character from Fortnite.
Jesus, Agent Jones.
Yeah, it's.
God, I hope it's Master Chief before that because Master Chief's way cooler.
He is.
Yeah.
So,
it's like 7'11" and can fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
Just Cause Mobile. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if you caught this, but I found a moment that was just fucking hilarious. They were advertising Fallout 76. I think it might have been like a new DLC. And it said, and this is verbatim, it said free for all 76 players.
Oh,
and I just thought that verbiage was so ironic.
I didn't notice that. That's hilarious. Oh my God. They had to have known. I feel like that's too cheeky. Like,
I really wish that could have been appreciated by Dave because I was like, that's really funny. I bet Chris would laugh at that.
I totally missed it.
For all 76
I appreciate it.
Moving on from that, Ruined King. I had somewhat high expectations because it's Riot and they made League of Legends and they got those fat stacks.
A lot of money.
But I didn't write anything down because it didn't seem that appealing to me.
Oh, I figured you would have had some stuff to talk about this one, honestly.
Yeah, I thought I would have too, but I just put because I guess there was nothing that was really appealing to me.
The art style looks nice. That's kind of to be expected at this point.
Yeah, it's always a given from a AAA. I guess we can call them a AAA studio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then best game direction again.
Yeah, swept the awards. I didn't feel like this one was really really deserved, especially with like how a lot of people online have been making very valid points that I agree with. When you have a game win best game direction where they are putting their employees through crunch
Yeah.
and hundreds of hours a week to get something done. Meanwhile, when you have a game like Hades also on the nominee list, to where they are very much a game studio that is encouraging vacation, to where they are mandatory 20 days vacation a year. Like, from everything I've been seeing, they really respect
That's good.
the game creators and have a much more positive work environment. So it's hard to be like, yay, Last of Us 2 won best game direction. Meanwhile, this small studio that's like, yeah,
We made such a great game. Please,
yeah,
please love us.
hmm
But we do. Then after that, it looks like GTA 5 is getting more DLC.
yeah. I mean, again, talking about that cash money,
I don't know how
Rockstar is
long.
not hurting.
I don't know how long we. I mean, I'm not a fan of GTA, but I don't know how long fans are expected to wait for the GTA 6 because it's been 7 years since GTA 5 came out.
GTA 5 has spanned 3 console generations. Like, that's pretty bonkers.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, I'm not one to tell Rockstar how to do their things.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they know how to do Red Dead, they know how to do GTA. But I mean, for GTA 6, what could you even do? I feel like GTA 5 is like what can't you do in that game, you know? I don't know
Yeah,
how
it's
to
gonna be
expand
rough.
on that.
Yeah, bigger and better, which is hard when you are the biggest and best.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, maybe they'll branch out and do something new,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows?
They're gonna do GTA 6 for sure.
And then Respawn finally gave us some gameplay of Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which I was a little excited for.
It looked cool.
A little reserved just because it's VR.
Yep.
VR is not. I would argue it's not mainstream by any means.
No.
Just because if you want to play VR, you have to have like $1,500 laying around, which not a lot of gamers do.
Mhm.
And so, I'm pretty down the middle. I hope the best for them. I'm not going to play it. I might watch some gameplay at some point.
I really
Medal of Honor's coming back.
Yeah.
That Respawn's doing it because I don't think they did the previous ones, did they?
I don't think so. Not the latest one that came out like
I think it was
6
Warfighter?
years ago. But I really like the trailer that they had going for it, where they had all the war veterans kind of saying like, "This is our story. This is what happened," and they kind of implemented that in the VR. I thought that was really cool.
Mhm.
It's a really nice way to continue and honor memories and sacrifices.
Mhm.
And I really like that. That really grabbed me.
Mm-hmm. DICE actually made the last Medal of Honor.
It was DICE.
Yeah. But yeah, VR, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a very small market right now. Once the headsets and everything, all the setups get cheaper.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty rough.
This is how VR is getting mainstream. They just got to make more games for it, and demand for VR headsets will go up. Maybe prices will go down, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because right now, there's no way I'm buying a brand new headset. I'm going to get one secondhand, just because it's so expensive, and because it comes with a commitment. Because you got to get a PC that's powerful enough to run it, and the cheapest graphics card that can run good VR is probably $350 to $400, and then you got to build the rest of the system around that, and then get the headset, which is another $400. So that's $1,000 investment minimum. So
and you don't even have the game yet.
Yeah, exactly. So VR is they just got to make more games, I guess, and just hope demand goes up and prices can come down at some point. And then one of the biggest things,
big manga.
Yeah, so we're flying through space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then off in the distance, I hear that signature Reaper sound.
You and me both, brother.
And I'm just like, holy shit, that sounds like a Reaper. And we're just zooming through space. I'm like, that looked like a mass relay too. This is exciting. And then it went to what's that species called?
Asari.
The Asari. She's walking through. She picks up something. I'm like, okay, the only small thing that could be recognized that we know is a Mass Effect thing is that fucking number and that fucking letter. And what happens? They brush it off. You see that glorious N7 logo. And it's funny because I felt like such a badass because I'm like, N7. And she goes, wee, and it says N7. I'm like, yes! And I'm like, damn, fucking brilliant. And so after all that sort of died down, I was like, yes, Mass Effect, yes. Then it's like, it's going to continue. I'm like, yes, that's fucking amazing. But then I was kind of drawn back because I was like, the last Mass Effect game was Andromeda. And that did not do well.
No, did not.
But because they said Mass Effect will continue, I'm determined that this will be Mass Effect 4.
Yeah,
and Andromeda is going to stay over in its corner where it belongs, and they're just going to make 4. And I don't know if it'll be a prequel, sequel, whatever. I'm convinced that it'll just be 4.
I'm with you on that, especially because like the Asari, it looked like Liara. So I would assume this is a continuation. I don't know if they ever explained their species or how old she was. If she's like 300, I don't remember. But I feel like this will be a sequel, and especially given that they're kind of like, as we're traveling through space, we see like the destruction and rubble of a mass relay, which kind of implies
time has passed.
Sequel, and then they're kind of rebuilding, getting a makeshift shuttle to get off the planet. I would like to think this is also a sequel to the original trilogy, which I would be more happy for. I know that there are people who would defend Andromeda and who would like a sequel to Andromeda, but
too bad.
The trilogy, the trilogy was too great. And like for me personally, I'm not really a big fan of prequels after a story ends. It doesn't feel as exciting, and you kind of know where it's going to go.
Yeah, and there's not much you can really add while surprising or adding suspense because you know what's going to happen. You know what the turnout's going to be.
So will continue is a little vague, but I'm excited.
Hopefully it will continue from the end of 3.
Yeah, I mean, even at the end of 3, if you remember, there was like the Stargazer that was telling the story. And it's like, well, one more story. So I feel like they kind of knew what they wanted to go for.
I'm hoping, because I'm assuming this will be an EA title, I'm hoping that what will happen is that EA will see the failures of the past of BioWare, aka Andromeda, and also because they have a hand in DICE, they'll see what happened with Battlefield 5, and that's why Battlefield 6 or whatever is going to be like this unmatched, unimaginable sized multiplayer, and it's going to be huge and great, and it's been in development now for I don't know, at least more than a year, which is good.
So
I'm hoping that maybe some of that will go over to BioWare and they'll make like really Italian chef's kiss game.
It just needs time.
Yeah,
that's all a game needs to become great.
Yep.
Just give it time.
That's more expensive.
Yes, it is. But you get so much more back.
Yeah. Loyalty.
Rockstar is a great example of this. They have a game every like 6 years, and they're amazing, and they sell so much because they're polished, they're quality.
Yeah.
And with a company like EA, that feels like there's always a deadline, and they need to make the money now. The games tend to suffer. Battlefield's a great example. Andromeda is unfortunate, great example. It's okay to let the game become polished.
Yeah.
But I am saying this as a gamer and not as an executive or an investor or somebody who has somebody breathing down their neck saying we need to get this now.
Yeah.
But that's the secret sauce.
Yeah, that's the secret sauce. And then the awards were closed out with the upset
The game of the year.
Game of the year, which of course went to Last of Us, to nobody's surprise. Well, actually, I'd say to everybody's surprise, but given how the previous awards were dished out, it seemed like there was a bit of a theme going on.
Yeah,
So-
again, it swept everything that it was in.
Yeah.
And
Despite being probably one of the most criticized games of 2020.
it's very controversial for sure,
Yeah.
whether you were for it or against it. You know, I feel like I'm a pretty understandable and like level-headed person. It wasn't as good as the first one, and it was a good game to play. It was fun, it was polished, it was clean. It had some glaring blunders that I would say didn't quite deserve Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It's putting it very nicely.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what the other nominees were that were up against it?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima,
Okay.
Hades, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Doom Eternal, and Animal Crossing: New Horizons were the nominees. I almost want to say all were more deserving, personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the heavy hitters. You know, like I think, except for Animal Crossing, I know it has a huge fan following, but like I still don't feel like it was considered Game of the Year. I know it came out at a very opportune time.
Yeah.
When everybody needed it. I very much understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it didn't quite hold that spot for Game of the Year for me.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best.
Yeah. And like I'm an Animal Crossing fan. I've got previous installments of the game, and even for New Horizons, I didn't feel like there was so much more content in there that kind of made it its own thing. I played the original GameCube when it came out in like 2002. 2003, and a lot of the elements in that GameCube game are in this Switch one, so it didn't feel so fresh. You know, it had some new ideas, which is great, very welcomed, but like a lot of stuff's like, oh yeah, I've caught this before. Oh yeah, I've seen this before. Oh, this is what's going to happen here. Yeah, I know that. So it didn't feel very, very innovative. And I could even argue that for Last of Us as well. You know, a lot of the same mechanics. Yeah, and you know, arguably didn't innovate enough despite its quality.
Yeah. Well, would you look at that? We got through our first episode.
Yeah. Congrats to us. We'll pop the champagne.
Yeah, we'll pop the champagne and go to bed. It's been an hour and 42 minutes. So
has it really?
Yeah. So if anyone has made it this far, fucking tweet at me or something.
Yeah, bravo to you. And thank you so much for listening. Holy cow.
Send us an email or something, because, I mean, if you made it this far, hats off to you, because a lot of this to us is just brain vomit.
Yeah, just babble.
Just shooting the shit, like we said.
We just want to have a good time, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
love sharing, love getting conversation going, hearing feedback, and bouncing ideas off each other, and having fun talking about games.
We might be able to tack this on right before we started this, but I just wanted to do one more thing before we completely sign off. And I had alluded earlier that there were some games that I'd wished were shown in the awards. We had said one, which is The Last Night, which is unfortunate that it wasn't shown.
Yep.
I really wanted to see a game called 12 Minutes. I showed you a while ago. It was at last year's E3. And it was another person stuck in a loop.
Was it that top-down thing?
Yep.
I was, when we talked about, there was a game during the awards that we were talking about. I was like, man, that reminds me of this game that Chris told me about, where it was like this emotional top-down, looking at a room game. But I'll have to remember to ask him afterwards, because I totally forgot. But now it's back, and I guess it's not back, but it would be nice to see something from them.
Yeah, so we didn't get much more since the original trailer, except for it has the voice talents of James McAvoy, who is...
No shit!
Yeah, James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, who is Rey, and also Willem Dafoe, who is...
Holy shit!
Yeah, they're voice actors in this game.
And lineup!
It's apparently ETA 2021, from what I had researched yesterday. So it's still ongoing. I just want to see more.
I mean, the theme. Don't forget the theme of delays in the last year or two. If they delay it, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise.
Mm-hmm. And I have two more. One, Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong. I just want this game so badly. It's easily one of my most anticipated games coming out with no estimated time of arrival. It's made by 3 people, Team Cherry, and we had an announcement for it February of 2019, where it was originally promoted as DLC for Hollow Knight, but it became so big that they changed it to a full-fledged game.
Fuck.
And we just haven't seen much since. We've had little snippets of like, oh, these are some bugs that you're going to meet. These are some people. This is some levels. We had kind of an E3 demo going on, but they've been so quiet about it. And I know they're going to do a great game, but God, I'm such an angsty gamer and I just want it. And then I just kind of threw in Psychonauts 2. I knew that wasn't going to be in there, but it's just another game that I'm really anticipating. And the last trailer that they showed, I think it was for one of the Microsoft press conferences, looked great. It had the psychedelic brain, and it looks so gorgeous. Jack Black is doing an original song for it as well.
Yeah.
So the people at Double Fine, Tim Schafer, is just throwing so much money at this that it was almost out of funding until Microsoft picked it back up.
Oh, thank you, Microsoft.
And yeah, when Double Fine was purchased by Microsoft, even Tim Schafer was like, Microsoft approached me and they said, hey, we'll give you all the money you need for this game. And so I said, yeah, okay. That'd be great. Oh, of course. So I feel like with that, they're able to fully fulfill their vision for this game. So that probably extended the date and delayed it further for the better.
Mm-hmm. Usually.
Yes.
Better. Yeah. Whew. That was exhausting.
I feel like my voice hurts.
Yeah, my throat. I feel like I got to clear out like years of buildup.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the most I've ever talked in a matter of 2 hours. But hey,
so happy.
We've been wanting to do this podcast for ever, roughly.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time, but I've been very shy and embarrassed to even tell people about it because it just seems so like you just want to talk about games and movies.
Boo,
that's weird. But like, I'm so excited we actually got to this point. I'm really genuinely happy. I was so nervous beforehand.
Yeah, even if it doesn't get like the fucking fame that we're hoping for.
Yeah.
It was just kind of fun to just talk about the Game Awards and just dedicate our time just to that because there's just so much to cover and there's so much news to talk about and it's just fun to just vomit our brains out.
Yeah. It's always fun to think about the success of a new project in our lives.
We're going to be rich.
And it's not bad to dream, but it's not quite my expectation. But, you know, I always kind of hope, even if I say that, I'm not expecting it to blow up. A little part of me is like, oh, but that'd be so cool if we got famous from this.
Yeah, that would be the shit. That would be awesome. But luckily, it's still fun to do it regardless. At least for me. I don't know if you're
it'll be a nice time
money
capsule.
hungry.
I'd love to kind of revisit this 10 years down the road and be like, oh my god, Cyberpunk just came out.
Oh my god,
did our first.
I still hate my voice.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm hoping maybe in future episodes we could. I mean, I don't expect every episode to be an hour and fucking 48 minutes. But like. An episode could be dedicated to just talking about like Battlefield 6 or the news on Cyberpunk being delayed or I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
So what we kind of have envisioned for this podcast is obviously game news isn't always flowing. And today was an exception because we had a massive news dump from the Game Awards in 2020. And that's great. But from later episodes, we're just kind of expecting to have topics, maybe what was our favorite campaign game, and then go down a list and explain why, and what's our favorite previous gen title, what are we expecting in the future. Just fun topics that we hope that you would enjoy listening to us blab about.
Yeah, good food for thought, because when we thought of the idea of just narrowing down what are your favorite campaign games, or what were the biggest flops in your opinion. It sparks a lot of like conversation, and it's just a lot of fun to just talk about, like, man, Anthem fucking took a dump, but you know who took a bigger dump? Fallout 76.
Yeah,
and just to shit on games, or to just praise games endlessly, because there's just like Dungeon of the Endless.
Yeah,
I love that game, and I could talk about it forever.
Yeah, we just I want to just capture the energy that we feel for gaming and our love and passion for media like this. And that's kind of what has always inspired me to want to make this podcast and have you alongside with me.
Yeah.
Just to again shoot the shit, have a good time, and just be happy about the stuff that we're talking about, and to hopefully pass that charm and that passion on to everybody who's listening, just to enjoy us talk and hopefully have you participate.
Yeah, because a lot of what this episode is just us talking to each other just at a hangout, but we just figured, you know, like, there's a lot to cover, and I'd love to like hear what other people think and get more opinions and put it online and just record it, because like you can tell we went on for nearly 2 hours just talking about a game showcase that was 3 hours long, and this is just us talking for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of content there, and like putting it out on paper, or I guess out in the digital realm,
in the ether
is it's fun.
Yeah, we'd love to just get some feedback. Obviously, this is our first time ever doing this, so we know we're really rough around the edges. We probably said some topics that didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I probably like made a lot of clicking noises that I didn't even realize. Yeah.
So on that note, thank you everybody who stuck with us, and we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us
for 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's really, like, if you made it this far, you're our number one fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I bid you all adieu and farewell, and grateful for you joining us, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.